Last night, things heated up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Buffalo Bills, ending with Stefon Diggs being traded to Buffalo.
Now this offense is legitimate.
This is a Bills operation right now under Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott that really believes once you get to their locker room, you're going to want to fit in, you will fit in, and you will find a lot of comfort there. That is as good a locker room as I've been in an awfully long time. This is going to be, for Stefon Diggs, the kind of fresh start that I believe he will welcome and where he can thrive.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! 61 brilliant yards for Stefon Diggs has just taken the Minnesota Vikings to the NFC Championship game.
I want to be in the Super Bowl. I like the big stage. I want to get there.
Getting to the big game is also a goal for the Buffalo Bills, and this trade for Diggs is a step in that direction. Diggs is a true number one receiver, who many fans know as an electric down-the-field pass catcher with a big personality. In 2019, he led the league in just about every reception category when it comes to the deep ball, including receptions, yardage, and touchdowns. But there's far more to his game than just running go routes. As soon as the ball is snapped, the fun begins. He's arguably the best route runner in the league. He can create separation with his speed or route running, and is not afraid to adjust to an inaccurate pass in traffic. Diggs is what we would call QB friendly. He's always showing his numbers to the quarterback, working back to the ball, catching passes away from his frame, or showing a little toe drag swag along the boundary when the offense needs a big play. He's the type of receiver whose incompletions even get a replay, and you'll see why as we do this deep dive into the art form that is Stefon Diggs' play. When offenses want to steal yardage on early downs, Diggs can be that thief. He's one of the best quick game receivers because he can use an array of releases to separate quickly. On this slant pattern, Diggs uses a circle or diamond release. When corners feel an outside release coming, they tend to panic because they're afraid of getting beat deep. So Diggs uses it to his advantage. The salesmanship of an outside release and go route works well against press man or press bail techniques because it ultimately gets him the leverage needed to get to the middle of the field. On the snap, the explosion laterally immediately gets Diggs into the blind spot of the bailing corner. His footwork not only puts him in the blind spot, but his shoulders are still square, and he has come to balance so that cutting back to the middle of the field is easy. He locks eyes with his quarterback, and he throttles in the area just vacated by a linebacker who is screaming to the flats. Cousins delivers, and it's off to the races. Diggs patiently creates a two-way go while coming to balance regardless of his alignment or the direction his route is going to break. Once separation is created, he knows where he needs to sit or throttle down in order to find a good window for his quarterback. Watch him create a two-way go from a nasty alignment. On the snap, Diggs comes to balance with his feet slightly staggered. The corner wastes several steps before he can transition. By then, Diggs is breaking to the sideline with several yards of cushion. The former Maryland Terrapin routinely turns press defenders around because they simply don't know what to expect from Diggs when the ball is snapped. Once the defenders have an opportunity to recover, he's running away from them and catching the ball. With the addition of Diggs, Josh Allen has another weapon that can run routes with multiple breaks. Routes that will take time to develop and give Allen time to read the coverage while still creating separation. Routes like this pivot route against Byron Jones, the new Miami Dolphin. Diggs gets a free release inside and makes it look like he's going to be running a crossing route. As he's setting up the route, he takes a quick peek at Jones to process the leverage of the talented corner. It's at that time that Diggs drops his hips and explodes back towards the boundary for a first down. Diggs possesses the speed, footwork, and overall route running acumen to consistently separate at all levels of the field. Watch him create separation on this blaze out. On the snap, he gets inside leverage while getting into the defensive back's kitchen. Just when a corner thinks he's in Diggs' pocket, the talented receiver separates with some clean footwork. He keeps some of the best corners in the game questioning when the break in the route is going to occur. Here against Marshawn Lattimore, Diggs sets up multiple two-way goes before creating an enormous amount of separation to the post. He then bails out Cousins by catching the ball away from his frame. Diggs' hand-eye coordination is phenomenal, and it will be critical to his success in Buffalo. He makes tracking and adjusting to inaccurate passes look so easy. He had no business making this catch on a pass that was well underthrown, yet he somehow was able to stop his momentum enough to get his hand underneath the ball to reel it in. The former 5-star recruit has a crossover of a point guard during the release phase of a route, but the soft hands and spatial awareness of a shooting guard at the catch point. His boundary awareness is second to none, When he gets along the sideline, he establishes positional leverage on the defender by shielding the corner, then uses his hands to catch the ball away from his frame, while still understanding he has plenty of green to get his feet in, even if he doesn't catch the ball cleanly. Diggs isn't a big receiver by any means, but he understands that sometimes quarterbacks can only throw it to certain spots to avoid a defender making a play on it. So he always puts his body in position to make tough catches along the sidelines, essentially extending his catch radius. Since entering the league in 2015, Diggs has scored 16 red zone touchdowns. On this play against the Eagles, he runs a stick nod to the back line of the red zone, and Cousins hits him where only Diggs can catch it. These backline throws are a strength of Allen's, and should be incorporated even more with Diggs in play. These sort of catches are common for Diggs. He's the type of receiver that is open even when he is covered, and Allen will be able to rely on Diggs to make these contested catches. In fact, over the last 3 years, he leads all receivers in contested catch rates at 61.1% per Pro Football Focus. Getting open down the field and making contested catches for Allen will be Diggs' #1 priority. Allen has shown improvement in the short and intermediate areas, but what the Bills need now is for opposing defenses to respect Allen's deep ball. So how is Diggs going to do that? Let's take a look. When Diggs knows he has a coverage or defender beat cleanly, he turns the jets on. But as he is accelerating and advancing down the field, he keeps his head down until he gets 15 to 20 yards down the field. So he's able to reach top speed quicker, and with the safety jumping the deep crossing route, Diggs has free access to the middle portion of the field on this play. So Cousins leads him inside, and Diggs reels in one of his 8 receptions over 40 yards, which tied him for the most in 2019. As quarterback guru Jordan Palmer told Cover 1, Allen's deep ball passing issues aren't physical, they're more about touch and feel. He added that consistently throwing an accurate deep ball is one of the aspects that takes the most time to master in the NFL, because no route is identical and no receiver is the same. Acquiring a receiver like Diggs should help improve Allen's consistency because Diggs can win a deep route early. Allen will know on the snap, I got a single high safety look, I can get rid of the ball when Diggs is at the 10 to 20 yard mark, rather than holding on to it until the 30, 40, or 50 yard mark to determine if he is actually going to be open. That'll allow Allen to throw the ball with a trajectory that he is comfortable gauging. Diggs wins his route early with a good plan to work inside and beat the hands of the corner. He pins the inside hand of the corner with perfect hand placement on the upper arm. Then he uses an arm over transition to clear the defender's hands to break free. He then stacks the corner, fixes his gloves, and even takes a peek at the safety in order to calculate what the picture is going to look like at the catch point. The ball drops in, and Diggs shows off his soft hands to convert a first down. Giving Diggs a shot down the field is all Allen will have to do. The savvy veteran knows how to win during any phase of a route and against top-tier competition. Check out the nuance and execution of this route against Darius Slay. On the snap, Diggs works his two-way go, and Slay gives him the outside release. As soon as Diggs commits out wide, Slay fires an offhand jam, but Diggs quickly counters with a forearm pull to keep his frame clean. The quick hands of Diggs also help to maintain the early width of the route stem, which will play a part later at the catch point. Diggs throttles down the pace of the route to sell the double move, but Slay doesn't bite. He has perfect leverage on Diggs as the two players come in close. But let's focus back on Diggs' tracking and hand usage because it's what seals the deal. Initially, he places his left hand on the outside of Slay's, with his right hand on the outer frame to control him vertically. As the ball drops in, Diggs slightly pushes off with his right hand, then swings his left arm under and through the frame of Slay. This movement essentially puts Diggs past Slay. Diggs waits until the very last moment to show his hands, then creates a basket for the ball to drop into, while maintaining positional leverage along the boundary to get both feet in. That's how you separate late in contested catch situations, and Diggs does that consistently. When the Bills need a play, he will be the go-to target for Allen. Here's another goal ball to Diggs where the coverage was perfect, but the silky smooth receiver separates late. On the snap, Diggs releases outside, and this time you see Slay decide not to use the offhand jam. Instead, he chooses to simply mirror the receiver. Well, the failure to disrupt Diggs allows him to accelerate more easily and to get a step on the corner. Throughout the entire drive phase down the field, you can see Slay trying to use his outside hand to stay in phase. But Diggs is in the battle, constantly working to get the advantage. His timing of when he needs to use his hands to separate is impeccable. He comes over the top and places his near hand on the shoulder of Slay and ever so slightly pushes off to create separation. Now, as you can see, He held the red line down the entire field, so when he pushes off, he has plenty of room to catch the ball and get his feet in bounds. Stefon Diggs is the ultimate competitor who wants the ball in crucial moments. He's that alpha dog you want for your young quarterback. Whether that's converting 3rd and 4th downs 95.7% of the time, or driving the final nail in the coffin at the end of the game, he wants to be the hammer. The addition of Diggs is going to make Josh Allen's life a lot easier. He can be used in the screen and quick passing game to get Allen some easy completions and yardage. His ability to set up two-way goes and suddenness generate separation quickly. His route running makes him nearly impossible to cover because he always has a plan and has the tools to execute it. His 4.4 speed and crisp footwork allow him to run route stems with multiple breaks, which should pair up well with Allen's processing and rhythm as a passer. Corners may think they have advantageous leverage on Diggs and his route, but the wily veteran knows how to attack that leverage in order to get to where he needs to go. He plays with high, active hands that can quickly swat away any sort of disruption during his route stem, or even separate at the top of routes. And once the ball is in the air, forget about it, it's his. He's a contested catch beast. While he's only 6 feet tall, he has an uncanny ability to process positional and spatial leverage in order to extend his catch radius to separate at the catch point. His body control is that of a basketball player, which will be incredibly important as he will often need to adjust to some inaccurate passes, but the crowd at New Era Field will assuredly erupt when Diggs makes a tough catch in traffic for his quarterback. Diggs was the fastest Vikings receiver to 200 receptions, beating Randy Moss and Percy Harvin to the milestone by 2 games. He's considered a top 5 receiver in the league by many, but now he starts a new chapter in the Queen City with a team that is built to win now and for the foreseeable future.